Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to talk about something interesting, and that is how basically Kabam is probably intentionally mislabeling champion abilities in order for themselves to leave the door open to be able to mess with them later, at least in my opinion. But anyways, behind today's video there is a bit of a story. So a couple weeks ago I took Nick Fury alongside Human Torch into Labyrinth of Legends for kind of like a fun stream to see how he will do. And one of the things that I noticed immediately is that Nick Fury is able to prevent champion abilities evade. However, he does not prevent a Labyrinth evade, which is like at 1% for every single champion in Labyrinth. So I still got evaded a fair amount and I got kicked in my face. Now, I knew for a really long time that Labyrinth evade is somehow working differently from all the other evades, and that, for instance, Iceman and Gwenpool does not prevent these champions from evading, even though they should, according to all logic and reason and how their ability descriptions have been presented to us. Same as Ghost. Ghost should not be evaded in Labyrinth, yet she is. And once again, Nick Fury is as well. And so there's definitely something up with that, because slow debuffs, true accuracy, true strike do prevent Labyrinth evade 100%. So there is some sort of discrepancy in what's happening there, and that got me thinking why, and I figured I'll open a ticket and see what happens. So first things first, it was quite interesting that after I opened my ticket, Kabam knew who I was. Now, especially because my game email is different from my main email that I use for everything else, including my YouTube channel. Because my game email, is just purely for my in-game account. I don't use it for anything else. But as soon as I opened the ticket, they basically were able to get back to me with a link to my live stream in exact moment which the evade happened in question, and they said that they will forward this to the game team, whatever. Then a while later, because it took them a couple of days to get back to me, they said that they will forward this to their game team, and they're like looking into this further, to which point I suppose I felt a bit flattered, because I'd expect for most cases these tickets just kind of get closed down. But anyways, so they did eventually get back to me this morning, and the reply was quite unexpected at this point, and it got me to thinking even further. Anyways, thanks for hanging in there. While we looked into this, I just wanted to let you know that Labyrinth champions still have possibility of evading Nick Fury. Nick Fury's tactical charges reduce ability accuracy, but the Labyrinth champions have an increase to ability accuracy. This means they still have a chance to evade when he is at 5+ charges. Blah 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 blah. And as soon as I read it, I was like, something doesn't really stick together here. Well, first of all, if we actually jump to Labyrinth kind of like nodes and descriptions, there's this enrage mentioned. After a period of from start of the fight, the champions become enraged and gain additional attack, damage, ability, accuracy, blah blah blah. But that is when the enrage timer kicks in. Now, for all intents and purposes, as we all know, if you are starting about 2,000 base attack, you get the longest ended enrage timer, and they should not be having any boosts to their abilities. Now, once your first enrage timer expires, yes, their damage increase, ability accuracy, and all the other increases are noticeable. Obviously, once the second enrage timer expires, that is Kabam kill you now button, and you can't notice much there, aside from the fact that they are unblockable, unstoppable, and have huge power gain. But it does not state here that they start with ability accuracy increase as well, because these reported evades happened within the first enrage timer. So this description, first of all, seems faulty as well, because they already start with increase in attack, ability, accuracy, blah 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 blah, and that only kind of increase later on. Whereas suppose this description makes you think that they only gain it after the enrage timer first one at least expires. But that would not be the biggest thing. That would not be kind of like the main talking point of the video. The main talking point of the video is going to actually happen when we enter the game. Once we go to the champion descriptions. And when are we going to look up Nick Fury? Just give me a second. The game is unsurprisingly slow. But yeah, so let's read what is the actual Nick Fury ability description. So if we can take a look, what does it say next to his tactical charges? At 5+ charges, Nick's attacks can't miss or be evaded. Now, me as a non-native English speaker might have my wires crossed here, but if something says can't, that should be final. What I was presented in the reply from Kabam support was that in fact this ability only reduces opponents' evade ability accuracy, not kind of like shuts them down completely, and those are two different kind of mechanics. So in this case, if we can follow what our support is saying, the actual description should be Nick's attacks at 5+ charges reduce opponents' evade or phase ability accuracy by 100%. That does not imply that they cannot be evaded. That implies ability reduction, which is what Kabam support stated, how the ability actually works. Now, when you're talking about words like can't or guaranteed, in case of Ghost, let's say, Ghost is stated to have guaranteed critical hits whenever that passive precision is active. We can double check that right now as well, because she's also a victim of kind of false ability descriptions, I suppose. So let's take a look at the Ghost here. Where are her abilities? One phasing. Critical hits cannot be evaded. Once again, it states a final ability that these critical hits cannot be evaded. However, they still get away in Labyrinth. So that leads me to believe that in fact this ability should be written in the game as critical hits have 100% ability accuracy reduction against evade effects, or something of the sort. You can word it better, but that is the base idea, because they still can be evaded apparently if opponent has increased ability accuracy. Same as, where is that phasing thing? What's about phasing? But we all know that Ghost has the ability here, upon phasing and gain a precision passive for 6 seconds, which guarantees the next hit to be critical and consumes the precision passive. Now, guarantees to me imply that it will happen 100%. However, when you're fighting Emma Frost or when you're fighting crit resistance nodes, these hits that are supposed to be guaranteed are not so much guaranteed, because quite often you can see a footage where Ghost does not crit against Emma Frost, for instance, or on these crit resistance nodes as well. You do not get your guaranteed critical. Now, it might not actually originally seem like that big of a deal or a difference. However, it is, just because these are, first of all, falsely advertised and falsely assumed abilities the champions have that they do not actually have, because once you choose the wording of this ability, that is what should be actually reflected in game. And these champion cases, it seems that they have the abilities that they're supposed to have, but they actually have completely different abilities, which lead to a similar result in vast majority of the cases. Right, and however, where is the difference here? These abilities that are described in their ability descriptions are far more powerful. Now that something is guaranteed to happen, in your mind, you have basically absolutely no chance for fail there. When in game, these abilities can fail under certain set of circumstances. For instance, you can manufacture these circumstances yourself. If Mysterio is a champion whose ability accuracy cannot be reduced, for instance, and if you pair him up with Nick Fury, and if you pair him up with Quake, in that case, that means he will still be able to evade Ghost's critical hits with that synergy, even though Ghost is supposedly able to shut down the evade. However, because this interaction actually happens via ability accuracy reduction, and Mysterio can't have his abilities reduced, he will still be able to evade, and therefore Ghost will not work as advertised, Ghost will not work as sold. And that is a major problem, because Albeit currently in the game these situations aren't as present, aside from Labyrinth of Legends where we have these await issues, but this gives Kabam ability to purposely manufacture content with champions that can counter these, let's say, top tier, because we all know that Ghost is a top tier champion in the game, we all know that Nick Fury is a top tier champion in the game, and we all know that there's a bunch of other champions that will function similarly and already do in the game. What I'm saying is, now that we realize that their abilities actually are designed differently from how they are advertised, we also realize that so long as the ability is not final, so long as it's not actually guaranteed, so long as it's not actually can't but has a high chance not to, basically, there are ways around it, and in future potentially it might mean that Ghost guaranteed crits will crit less and less against endgame content, or that these guaranteed await counters will work less and less often if Kabam chooses to play specific counters under specific conditions. Not to mention the unprofessional or unethical aspect of Kabam plain and simply misadvertising their champions. Because the abilities which we see in the game are not what they are stating them to be, or at least how they work. So it's a quite interesting thing. I don't really know exactly how pissed off I am at them for this. I don't know exactly how I feel about it, but I do know that it's definitely worth talking about, and I do know that it is a fairly interesting thing that kind of got unveiled by accident here. And I'm really happy it did, because for me personally it kind of provides a lot more understanding about these mechanics now. Yeah, that will pretty much be end of today's video, but let me know what you guys think, because I definitely find this to be cheeky, sneaky, a bit low-handed, swapping your 100% ability reductions or your 9,000 critical rating increase for words of guaranteed and can't. Because that's not guaranteed, it's just a massive stat increase. Because they could have simply went the route of gain a precision passive of plus 9,999 critical rating. Then there would be no problem. You'd understand that if there's a critical rating reduction, you might not crit. Or then there wouldn't be a problem if you know that Nick Fury actually reduces the await ability accuracy by 100%. And then if opponents have ways to work around them, they can still evade and things like that. And that also leads you to think how many more abilities that we believe are designed one way are in fact functioning completely differently from how they are advertised in game. It's a very, in my opinion at least, interesting topic of subject. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, let me know, and leave a comment, leave a like, share it with your friends. Make sure that as many people find out about this, just because it is, in my mind at least, some sort of enlightening thing about these issues. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya!